What's going on, guys? This is the Fullstack bro coming at you with another video today. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about why ego is the enemy when it comes to practicing or learning how to code. Now, everybody has an ego. It's just a matter of how big or small it is. Some people think that they know everything in the world, right? Like they don't need to learn anything and that it's just going to be the way it is. That is a major problem. If you're the one of the people that actually learns and grows, then you're on the right track. Your ego is pretty tamed at that point. The biggest thing for me was that my ego, definitely when it came to coding, I really thought I knew what it was. The biggest thing that I had to do is do some reading. If there's something that you want to learn, you could look at a YouTube video, you could go to a Udemy course, all that. But the biggest thing is in these books. And this one book has helped me understand ego at its core, and it's called Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. So this book right here will teach you everything that you need to know about your ego and how to look out for different red flags when it comes to stopping you from becoming successful, having better relationship with people, and just doing the things that you need to do. And taming your ego and understanding at its core what your ego is about and how you could utilize it to become better is going to be a game changer for a lot of you developers out there that are either trying to find a new job or if you're trying to just move on up. If you're a junior, mid, and you're trying to become senior, tech lead, all that stuff, taming your ego is going to help you tremendously, and taking the right feedback and adding that into your skills is going to help you grow exponentially, okay? This is what I've seen, at least for me, when it comes to ego and how I go about coding. So the first thing is overestimating my skill or your skill. If you're overestimating that you could do something and you don't know how to do it, just say that you don't know. Don't act like you have all this confidence and you could code out a solution when you have no idea how to go about it. This is something that hurts a lot of mid to junior level developers because they don't know what they're talking about, or that they don't have the skill set to do the job. If you are hired to do a job, that means that you are qualified. The only thing that's stopping you from actually taking on more responsibility is saying that you know something when you don't know it. And of course you can learn it. Like, we all have the ability to learn. We have a lot of resources today to become better at our skill set. But you have to be able to say, no, I don't know, and take the time to learn. If you take the time to learn, you learn the fundamentals and understand the key concepts in terms of what is the bigger picture here, right? That's going to help you working on projects, making sure that is more effective, providing more value in terms of how you're coding out a solution and creating a workflow. This is going to help you tremendously. So don't overestimate your skills. If you don't know, just say you don't know. No one's going to look at you any different, and it's going to keep you accountable for where you want to get to at the end of the day. The second thing is handling feedback. If I'm giving you constructive criticism on how you're going about solving a problem or how you're structuring your code, you shouldn't be mad about that. If you don't agree, then we can have that conversation, right? You can have that conversation with your team members. The problem is what you thought was right, you're writing things out and it's working just fine. And you're like, you know, I got this job done. And then you have someone just tear down what you wrote. Yeah, it hurts a little bit, right? Like you're going to feel like shit after that. But the biggest thing here is to take what's being given to you and look between the lines. If there's a senior developer giving you feedback and you're a junior level developer, take everything that they say with respect. Okay, even if it doesn't make sense to you, having that ability to handle your ego in that moment to where you're getting constructive criticism is only going to make you better. So you could take bits and pieces of what someone told you that you should do, research it on your own, and actually apply it for yourself and see if it does make sense. So handling feedback, whether it's positive or negative, is going to help you tame your ego and make you get better when it comes to practicing how to code or just getting better writing code in general and understanding standards. Another thing too is simpler projects. You're avoiding working on simpler projects. I preach on this channel that you should work on more complex projects. I'm only talking to the developers that are trying to get to another level. If you're junior, mid, and you're trying to get to senior, tech lead, whatever you want to do, working on simpler projects with experience is not going to help you at this point. You have to work on more complex ones. But for beginners, entry-level developers, you have to work on the more simple projects, because this is going to help you understand the foundations a little bit more, understand requirements, have conversations with product, right? In terms of the requirements, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what makes sense from a technical standpoint. Working on more easy projects and then transitioning into complex projects is the way you want to go. You just don't want to go straight to complex. Like, it's going to take you way longer to figure out the solution to that project and get it done, as opposed to taking baby steps. The more experience that you get with working on an easy project, breaking it down into smaller pieces, into subtasks to where you could work through it efficiently, is going to make it easier for you to become better at doing complex projects. So you have to think about it from a bigger picture. Think about it as, this project, what are we trying to get to, right? If it's just building out a landing page, what needs to be on our landing page? Create the wireframe of what this project needs to be, break it down into subtasks, and get every single part or piece of that project done, and make sure that the workflow makes sense, because that's going to make it easier for you in the long run. And you're going to be more resilient when it comes to working on complex projects, and your ego won't get in the way. The next thing is actually being resistant to learning new technologies. Now, I know learning something new is definitely some fear around that, right? If you are good with 3 core languages and you don't want to learn anything else, that's a problem. You should be able to learn as much as you can and evaluate different languages. You never know, like React.js, for example, could go away tomorrow, right? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript could go away tomorrow. C#, all of these different languages. There could be a new language that's on the rise that a lot of people are going to be adapting, especially with the power of AI, that will make it better for developers to build things. So don't have that ego to where you feel like that you can't learn anything new or that you don't need to learn anything. As a developer, you're going to be learning as much as you can. And then the last thing is blaming tools. Just because you have errors in your IDE, whether you're using Visual Studio Code or something else, and you're noticing that there's errors and you don't do anything about it, it's something to do with you. So if you find errors, you're blaming tools, you're not a good developer. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You need to look at errors and understand why you're getting those errors and refactor your code accordingly. It's not about the tools that you're using. You could use any tool. You could give a seasoned developer the bare minimum, Notepad++, write out a web page. I bet you he or she could do it. It doesn't matter. Using just your mind to write good code and understand where the problem lies and actually understand how errors show up is a big thing. And if you can't get around that, then you're not going to find a job. No one's going to hire you. You're not going to move up. You're going to stay exactly where you are. Because blaming tools, blaming other people for your mistakes, that's not taking accountability, and you have a lot of work to do if that's the case, all right? So be humble, figure out what your path forward is. If there's something that you don't know, say you don't know, and just learn from your mistakes. So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll have a link to that book, Ego is the Enemy, in the description if you wanted to, buy it off of Amazon and give it a read. It's a great book. It really is. Write in the comments, has ego halted you from becoming a better developer, or in terms of finding a job out there? And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on IG at the Fullstack Bro. And then there's also my email address as well, which is thefullstackbro@gmail.com. All right. We'll talk soon.